The American Civil Liberties Union filed a lawsuit yesterday on behalf of a man who was wrongly arrested after posting a video to Facebook that he had taken of a police encounter outside of his home. The ACLU says his civil rights were violated when he was arrested a month after the run-in, and that the charges were clearly brought out of retaliation. So this guy, Michael Gratteri, he lives in Pennsylvania near Ford City High School, and he'd had frequent confrontations with teachers who would park outside of his home instead of parking in the school parking lot. So one day, this was in September of 2014, he decided to, as a way of proving a point, he took his motorcycle and decided to block in a teacher's car. So instead of the teacher calling him or knocking on his door, she ends up calling the police, and a Ford City police officer named Joshua Wolford responded, and when he arrived at the scene, Gratteri was filming him. He had a cell phone attached to his shirt or connected in some way, and on his motorcycle shield there was a sign that said, "Smile, you're on camera." So the officer threatened him, told him to put the cell phone away, threatened to tow his motorcycle, etc. And then Gratteri later posted that video to Facebook, and it wasn't until another officer saw that posting and then told Wolford that the video was there that then Wolford got in touch with the Armstrong County DA, Scott Andreassi, and was saying, hey, could I maybe press charges against him, claiming that he was violating the state's wiretap laws, which say that you can't videotape someone if they don't give their consent. So then Gratteri is arrested, he's thrown into the back of the car, he wasn't strapped in or anything, and then he had to stay in custody for about 7 hours. So this is the culmination, and this was a month after the encounter actually took place. So wow. What do you think?
I think he's a douchebag, I think the cop's a douchebag, I think everyone in this case is a douchebag, but I have to say, first and foremost, I hate when I see videos online when there's like a routine traffic stop and the officer is like, can you put down your window? He's like, I don't have to put down my window, sir, I know my rights. And they're like filming, they got the thing in the cop's face, just instigating stuff, being dicks for no reason. I hate that, but we have to be able to film police. That is very important. Not because I think it's just a great idea for no reason. I think the police have proved that to us. There's a lot of lying going on. There's a lot of things that happen that are definitely illegal, and a lot of the times we see that the cop gets absolutely no punishment for it. I'm talking about shooting unarmed people, something that we talk about sadly a lot of times on this show. So I think it's very important. And of course, I mean, look, this guy was filming, not just him, but people always film the police because they're scared that they might get shot or something might go down, and they need to protect themselves if it has to go to court. Right? And the cop doesn't want it up there because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. Weigh the two.
I mean, look.
Weigh the two.
Yes, of course. Did Gratteri need to have a sign that said, smile, you're on camera? It seems a little bit snide. But you can't just arrest people for being annoying.
Right.
Like, yeah, maybe none of that needed to happen, but it's clear retaliation. And the fact that, and this is the ACLU's point, is that the DA wrongly, authorized these charges. They're just pissed off. I mean, that's the biggest crime you can commit, right? It's just like disrespecting a police officer. And yeah, and the ACLU is getting involved. I think they should. There's plenty of other cases where they should be getting involved, but at least this sets the precedent that yes, we're allowed to film the police.
Right.
I don't care if you don't like it. That's just how it is. So. This lawsuit that was filed yesterday, Christy Foreman, who's the attorney volunteering to work for Gratteri, she has this to say. She says, the wiretap law does not apply to public interactions with police. The officer's actions charging Gratteri were intended to punish him for posting the recording on Facebook, which is clear. So, what were you going to say something?
Just side note before we get out, like, why does this guy care if teachers park in front of his house? Like, what's the
same reason, just if you're like, this is my street, there's a parking lot over there. I mean, yeah, clearly he has some time on his hands to be like, I'm going to block her in, see how she likes that. But then it's like, you're kind of setting yourself up. It's almost like he wanted this confrontation to happen. So yes,
That's why I was saying he's a douchebag, because he kind of instigated the whole thing. He put his motorcycle there for no reason. But it definitely highlights something very important, and that there are laws in place that cops can use to get you arrested for filming them.
Yeah.
So as much as I would say that this guy's a douchebag, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, because again, it's, yes, you can't record someone without their consent, but the police were in that state where people need to be able to protect themselves, or at least document what happened, because there's so many, conflicting reports here and there. So the officer in question was contacted at the police station. He referred the call to his chief. There's been no comment from him or the DA. The lawsuit seeks an unspecified amount of monetary damages, and there wants to be a court order ruling that Gratteri's civil rights were violated. I mean, he was arrested in front of his 9-year-old kid arrested, which is kind of traumatizing. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
yeah,
Like
that's
a
not
month
cool.
after the fact, you're kind of like, dude, really? You're going to arrest me a month after I, was like, ha ha ha, got you on camera. Anyway,
Kinda asked for it,
at least from the ACLU, cops smile because we're allowed to put you on camera.